Isa salam, known as Jesus in Christianity, was born in a miraculous manner that is unique and unparalleled. His birth is one of the greatest signs of Allah's power and wisdom, showcasing his ability to create life in extraordinary ways. Isa salam was born to Maryam, Mary without a father, a fact that holds immense significance in Islamic teachings and is emphasized repeatedly in the Quran. This miraculous event was a testament to Allah's omnipotence, affirming that he has no limits in creating life. Maryam salam was a pious and devout woman chosen by Allah for a great mission. She lived a life of worship and devotion, seeking closeness to Allah in every aspect. One day, while she was alone, the angel Gabriel appeared to her in the form of a man to deliver the divine news. Maryam, startled by the sudden presence of a stranger, sought refuge in Allah, demonstrating her deep faith and modesty. Jibreel salam reassured her, explaining that he was sent by Allah to bestow upon her a pure and noble son. Maryam salam was astonished and questioned how she could have a child when no man had ever touched her, and she had always been chaste. The angel replied that it was a decree from Allah, and when he wills something he merely says, "Be," and it comes into existence. This response emphasized the power of Allah, who created Adam salam from clay without parents, and was now creating Isa salam without a father. This miraculous conception was entirely by Allah's command, highlighting his ability to create without any natural cause or intervention. The Quran describes the moment when Isa salam was conceived as one of divine will and grace. Maryam salam, despite her initial fear and uncertainty, accepted Allah's decree with submission and faith. She withdrew to a distant place to prepare for the birth, enduring the physical and emotional challenges with patience. Her unwavering trust in Allah's plan is a lesson in resilience and reliance on divine guidance. When the time of delivery approached, Maryam salam experienced the natural pain of childbirth. In her moment of distress, she expressed her anguish, wishing she had been forgotten rather than face the trials ahead. Allah, in His mercy, comforted her through revelation. She was guided to a nearby date palm tree and instructed to shake it so ripe dates would fall for her sustenance. A stream of fresh water was also provided to quench her thirst and rejuvenate her strength. This act of divine provision demonstrated Allah's care and support for Maryam salam during a critical moment in her life. After Isa salam was born, Maryam salam returned to her people, cradling her newborn son. They reacted with shock and disbelief, accusing her of immorality. To defend herself, Maryam salam remained silent as instructed by Allah, and Isa salam, still an infant, spoke miraculously to vindicate her. He declared himself a servant of Allah, a prophet who was given the book and blessed wherever he would be. This miraculous speech not only cleared Maryam's salam name, but also established Isa's salam divine mission, the very beginning of his life. The miraculous birth of Isa salam is a profound event that underscores the limitless power of Allah. It serves as a reminder of his ability to create beyond human understanding, emphasizing that nothing is impossible for him. This event also highlights the virtues of Maryam salam, her unwavering faith, and her role in fulfilling Allah's divine plan. The story of Isa's salam birth continues to inspire believers, reminding them of Allah's omnipotence and the importance of trust in His wisdom. Isa salam, known as Jesus in Christianity, was not only a miraculous sign of Allah's power through his birth, but was also appointed as a prophet and messenger with a divine mission to guide the people of Bani Israel. His role as a prophet is emphasized in Islam, and his life is seen as a reflection of dedication, truth, and unwavering commitment to spreading the message of monotheism. As a messenger, Isa salam was entrusted with the Injil Gospel, a divine scripture containing wisdom, guidance, and laws to lead his people to righteousness. From an early age, Isa salam demonstrated qualities that marked him as a chosen servant of Allah. His miraculous ability to speak as an infant, defending his mother Maryam's salam honor, was one of the earliest signs of his prophethood. In his speech, he identified himself as a servant of Allah who had been given the book and appointed as a prophet. This declaration not only cleared his mother of the false accusations, but also set the tone for his life's mission of calling people to the worship of Allah alone. Isa ﷺ was sent to Bani Israel during a time of moral and spiritual decay. The people had strayed far from the teachings of previous prophets, and the religious leaders had corrupted the divine laws for personal gain. Isa ﷺ was tasked with reminding them of their covenant with Allah and correcting their deviations. His message centered on the oneness of Allah Tawheed, urging the people to abandon idolatry and return to sincere worship. He emphasized the importance of humility, compassion, and obedience to Allah. As a prophet, Isa ﷺ displayed unwavering dedication to his mission, despite facing significant opposition. The leaders of Bani Israel, threatened by his teachings and growing influence, accused him of blasphemy and sought to discredit him. However, Isa ﷺ remained steadfast, delivering Allah's message with clarity and wisdom. His teachings often highlighted the inner dimensions of faith, focusing on sincerity and moral integrity, rather than mere outward observance of religious rituals. Allah supported Isa ﷺ with miracles to strengthen his prophethood and provide undeniable evidence of his divine mission. These miracles were not performed by Isa ﷺ independently, but were acts of Allah's will, demonstrating his power and authority. Isa ﷺ healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, cured lepers, and even brought the dead back to life, all by Allah's permission. These extraordinary acts served as signs for the people, calling them to recognize Allah's greatness and Isa ﷺ's status as a true messenger. In addition to his miracles, Isa ﷺ was given the Injil, a divine revelation that confirmed the Torah brought by Musa ﷺ and served as a guide for the people of his time. The Injil contained wisdom, laws, and ethical teachings meant to reform the corrupted practices of Bani Israel. Isa ﷺ called for justice, honesty, and compassion, urging people to care for the poor, uphold the truth, and seek forgiveness from Allah. His message complemented the teachings of previous prophets, reaffirming the continuity of divine guidance. Despite his efforts, many of Bani Israel rejected Isa ﷺ and his message, accusing him of sorcery and plotting against him. However, his mission was fulfilled as he conveyed Allah's message without compromise. Isa ﷺ did not seek worldly power or wealth. His life was dedicated to serving Allah and guiding people to the truth. In Islam, Isa ﷺ is regarded as a prophet and messenger of the highest rank, standing among the greatest prophets such as Noah, Ibrahim, Abraham, Musa, Moses, and Muhammad. His role was to continue the chain of prophethood, affirming the oneness of Allah and guiding humanity towards salvation. His life exemplifies the qualities of patience, sincerity, and devotion, serving as a timeless example for believers to follow. Isa ﷺ, known for his profound prophethood, was granted extraordinary miracles by Allah to validate his divine mission and demonstrate Allah's limitless power. These miracles, performed by Isa ﷺ with Allah's permission, were signs for the people of Bani Israel, calling them to faith and submission to the one true God. Each miracle served as evidence of his prophethood, a means of softening hearts, and a challenge to the skepticism of those who doubted his message. One of the first miracles of Isa ﷺ occurred when he was still an infant. After his miraculous birth, Maryam ﷺ faced accusations from her people. In response to her silence, Isa ﷺ spoke from the cradle, proclaiming himself a servant of Allah. He stated that he was a prophet, given the book and blessed wherever he would be. This astonishing event not only defended the honor of Maryam ﷺ, but also established Isa ﷺ's status as a chosen messenger from the very beginning of his life. Speaking as an infant was a clear sign of divine intervention and a testament to the truth of his mission. As Isa ﷺ grew older and began his mission, Allah granted him further miracles to support his prophethood. One of his most remarkable abilities was healing the sick. Isa ﷺ could cure blindness, a condition that was otherwise untreatable at the time. He restored the sight of those who had been blind from birth, a miracle that astonished onlookers and demonstrated Allah's mercy and power. Similarly, Isa ﷺ healed lepers, who were considered outcasts due to the contagious nature of their disease. By Allah's permission, Isa's ﷺ touch or supplication would bring complete healing, inspiring faith in those who witnessed these events. Another of Isa's ﷺ miracles was his ability to bring the dead back to life. With Allah's permission, Isa ﷺ would call upon the deceased, and they would rise, alive once again. This miracle left even the most skeptical individuals in awe, as it defied the natural laws of life and death. It was a profound demonstration of Allah's power to give life and take it away, reminding the people of his ultimate authority over creation. Isa ﷺ also performed miracles that highlighted his ability to create by Allah's will. One such instance involved fashioning a bird from clay. By blowing into it, the clay bird came to life and flew away, again by Allah's permission. This act symbolized Allah's role as the sole creator and underscored Isa's ﷺ's status as his chosen messenger, empowered to perform acts beyond human capability. In addition to physical healing and creation, Isa ﷺ demonstrated knowledge of the unseen, another miracle granted by Allah. He informed people of what they ate and stored in their homes, knowledge that no ordinary human could possess. This ability to know hidden matters served as further proof of his divine mission and emphasized the source of his knowledge as Allah alone. Despite these undeniable signs, many of the people of Bani Israel rejected Isa ﷺ and accused him of sorcery. However, his miracles were not mere displays of power but acts intended to guide people toward faith in Allah. They were signs of divine mercy and a call to recognize Allah's authority over all things. It is essential to note that Isa ﷺ always attributed his miracles to Allah, making it clear that he did nothing on his own but acted solely by Allah's permission. This humility highlighted his role as a servant and messenger of Allah, dedicated to fulfilling his mission of calling people to monotheism and righteousness. Isa's ﷺ miracles remain a significant aspect of his life and prophethood, showcasing the mercy and power of Allah. These events serve as reminders of the divine presence and the extraordinary measures taken to guide humanity back to the path of truth. For Muslims, these miracles affirm Isa's ﷺ's esteemed position as a prophet and messenger and inspire faith in Allah's limitless abilities. The message of Isa ﷺ was a continuation of the divine guidance revealed to previous prophets and was aimed at restoring the people of Bani Israel to the path of righteousness. Sent during a time of widespread corruption, moral decline and religious deviation, Isa ﷺ delivered a message rooted in the worship of one true God, adherence to divine laws, and a life of compassion, humility, and sincerity. His mission was a reminder of the original teachings of the Torah and a call to renew the covenant between Allah and his people. At the core of Isa's ﷺ message was the concept of Tawheed, or the oneness of Allah. He emphasized that Allah is the sole creator, sustainer, and Lord of all existence, and only He is worthy of worship. Isa ﷺ urged the people of Bani Israel to abandon idolatry, materialism, and their attachment to worldly desires. He reminded them that their purpose was to serve Allah and live in submission to His will. This call to monotheism was consistent with the teachings of previous prophets, such as Ibrahim ﷺ, Musa ﷺ, and others, who also proclaimed the unity and sovereignty of Allah. Isa ﷺ was sent to reform the practices and beliefs of Bani Israel, who had strayed far from the teachings of the Torah. The religious leaders of his time had distorted the divine laws for their personal gain, prioritizing rituals over sincerity and exploiting the people's faith for worldly benefits. Isa ﷺ denounced their hypocrisy, arrogance, and corruption, calling for a return to the true spirit of faith. He emphasized that acts of worship, such as prayer and fasting, should be accompanied by inner sincerity and a genuine connection with Allah. One of the central aspects of Isa's ﷺ message was the importance of moral and ethical conduct. He called for justice, honesty, and fairness in dealings with others, stressing that faith must be reflected in actions. He encouraged acts of kindness and compassion, especially toward the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. Isa taught that serving others and caring for those in need were essential expressions of one's devotion to Allah. His life itself was an embodiment of these principles, as he lived humbly, avoided material wealth, and dedicated himself to helping others. Isa also emphasized forgiveness, patience, and humility as key virtues for believers. He taught his followers to respond to wrongs with forgiveness, to avoid arrogance, and to treat others with respect and dignity. His teachings encouraged people to let go of grudges and seek reconciliation, fostering a sense of unity and brotherhood. These lessons were not only intended to improve individual character, but also to strengthen the bonds within the community. A significant part of Isa's message was to remind the people of their accountability to Allah. He warned them about the transient nature of this world and the reality of the hereafter, urging them to prepare for the day of judgment. Isa taught that true success lies in earning Allah's pleasure, and that worldly wealth, status, and power are meaningless if they lead to disobedience and corruption. He called on his followers to lead righteous lives, seek Allah's forgiveness, and strive for eternal rewards. Isa was also given the Injil, or Gospel, a divine scripture that served as a guide for his people. The Injil confirmed the truth of the Torah and provided additional guidance to address the needs of the time. It emphasized spiritual renewal, compassion, and adherence to divine laws. Isa called on his followers to respect the teachings of the Torah while embracing the message of the Injil, as both came from the same divine source. Despite the clarity and wisdom of Isa's message, he faced significant opposition from the leaders of Bani Israel. Many of them were threatened by his teachings as they exposed their corruption and challenged their authority. They accused him of blasphemy, sought to discredit him, and plotted to kill him. However, Isa remained steadfast in his mission, continuing to preach with patience and humility. His unwavering commitment to truth and his reliance on Allah serve as a powerful example for believers. Isa's message was not only a call to reform the practices of his time, but also a continuation of the divine chain of guidance. He affirmed the teachings of previous prophets, while preparing the way for the final prophet, Muhammad, who would bring the complete and universal message of Islam. Isa's life and teachings remain a source of inspiration, reminding believers of the importance of faith, sincerity, and devotion to Allah. In Islam, Isa is revered as a prophet who upheld the truth and fulfilled his mission with courage and dedication. His message highlights the timeless principles of monotheism, moral integrity, and compassion, serving as a guide for all who seek to live a life pleasing to Allah. Through his teachings and example, Isa continues to inspire believers to strive for righteousness and to remain steadfast in their faith. The ascension of Isa to heaven is one of the most significant and miraculous events in Islamic belief. While the details of his ascension differ from the accounts found in other religious traditions, Islam offers a unique and profound perspective on this event. Isa is believed to have been raised up to heaven by Allah, bypassing the crucifixion that is a central theme in Christian theology. The ascension serves not only as a demonstration of Allah's power, but also as a key aspect of Isa's mission and role in the divine plan. According to Islamic teachings, Isa was sent to the people of Bani Israel at a time when they had deviated from the true worship of Allah. His message was one of reform, calling people back to monotheism, compassion, and righteousness. However, despite his miracles, his wise teachings, and his call to piety, Isa faced intense opposition from the religious authorities and other powerful figures in society. His message was met with rejection, and his life was increasingly under threat as a result of the growing number of people who followed him. The Quran presents a clear and definitive account of what happened to Isa during the final moments of his life on earth. It states that the disbelievers conspired to kill him, and they plotted to crucify him. However, Allah intervened in this plot to save his prophet. In Surah An-Nisa 4:157-158, Allah tells us, "And they said, 'Indeed, we have killed the Messiah, Isa, the son of Maryam, but they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but another was made to resemble him to them. And indeed, those who differ over it are in doubt about it. They have no knowledge of it except the following of assumption. And they did not kill him for certain. Rather, Allah raised him to himself. And ever is Allah exalted in might and wise." This verse clearly indicates that Isa (AS) was not crucified, as is commonly believed in Christian theology, but rather Allah raised him up to himself. The Quranic narrative emphasizes that the people who believed they had crucified Isa (AS) were mistaken. Allah caused someone else to resemble Isa (AS), and this individual was crucified in his place, while Isa (AS) was taken up to heaven. The ascension of Isa (AS) is a miraculous event that underscores several key themes in Islamic theology. First, it highlights Allah's power to protect his prophets and intervene in the affairs of the world according to his will. Despite the intense opposition and the apparent threat to Isa's life, Allah ensured that his prophet was saved. The Ascension also emphasizes the idea that the ultimate fate of a prophet is determined by Allah, and no human conspiracy can thwart Allah's plan. Isa's ascension to heaven also serves to reinforce his status as a chosen and special servant of Allah. Throughout his life, Isa was granted many miracles to confirm his prophethood and bring people to faith. His ascension, however, goes beyond the miracles performed during his earthly life. It serves as a unique event that marks the end of his earthly mission and the beginning of his special place in the divine scheme of things. His ascension is a clear sign of Allah's protection and honor for Isa elevating him to a position of great significance. The ascension also has profound implications for the future. According to Islamic belief, Isa will return to earth before the Day of Judgment. This is one of the key elements of the Islamic eschatological narrative. Isa's return is not a sign of his death and resurrection, as often depicted in Christian belief, but rather a divine event that will occur in the future when the world is in a state of great turmoil. Isa will return as a just leader, and his role will be to defeat the false Messiah, the Dajjal, establish justice, and restore the true faith of Islam. His return will be a key moment in the events leading to the Day of Judgment. The ascension of Isa is also a powerful reminder of the temporality of life and the ultimate return of all beings to Allah. Isa's physical departure from the earth symbolizes the fact that no matter how important or significant a prophet or individual may be, all will eventually return to their Creator. This concept is central to Islamic belief, as it reinforces the idea that everything in existence is under Allah's control and nothing happens except by His will. The Ascension serves as a reminder of the reality of the afterlife, the Day of Judgment, and the ultimate accountability of all people. The Islamic narrative of Isa's ascension also provides an important lesson for believers. It teaches patience, faith, and reliance on Allah's plan. Even in the face of adversity, Isa remained devoted to his mission, and Allah protected him in the most miraculous way. For Muslims, this event encourages them to place their trust in Allah, knowing that He is always in control and that He will protect and support His servants when they stand firm in their faith. Isa's ascension is a central event in Islamic eschatology and serves as a crucial part of the broader narrative of prophethood and divine protection. It reflects Allah's infinite wisdom and power and foreshadows the significant role Isa will play in the final days before the Day of Judgment. His ascension is not the end of his story, but rather a chapter that paves the way for his eventual return and the fulfillment of Allah's divine plan. The second coming of Isa is a core belief in Islam, representing a significant event in the eschatological narrative. According to Islamic teachings, Isa was not crucified but was raised to heaven by Allah, where he remains until the time of his return. His second coming will mark the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in human history, fulfilling Allah's divine plan and bringing justice, peace, and the establishment of true faith on earth. The belief in Isa's Islam's second coming is based on several authentic hadith sayings of the Prophet Muhammad and is supported by verses in the Quran. While the Quran does not explicitly mention Isa's return, the hadiths provide clear details about this event. The Prophet Muhammad spoke of Isa's return to earth in the latter days, which will occur during a time of great chaos, corruption, and the rise of the false Messiah, the Dajjal. Isa's return will be a pivotal moment in history. According to Islamic belief, Isa will descend from the heavens in the midst of a time when the Dajjal, a false Messiah, will lead people astray, spreading corruption and deceit. The Dajjal will be a great trial for humanity, claiming to be a divine figure and deceiving many. He will bring about a period of great tribulation, testing the faith of believers. During this time, Isa's return will be the sign that the end of this trial is near. When Isa returns, he will defeat the Dajjal, who will have established his power and spread chaos throughout the world. According to hadiths, Isa will descend in a place near Damascus, Syria, and will be recognized by his followers as the true Messiah. He will be a just ruler, breaking the falsehoods of the Dajjal and restoring righteousness. Isa will engage in a final battle with the Dajjal, ultimately killing him and bringing an end to the reign of falsehood. This act will be one of the defining moments of his return. After the defeat of the Dajjal, Isa will establish a period of peace and justice on earth. He will rule as a just and wise leader, enforcing the laws of Islam and promoting the worship of the one true God, Allah. Under his leadership, people will live in harmony, and there will be a time of prosperity and spiritual renewal. The earth will be filled with justice, and oppression and injustice will be eradicated. Isa will also break the cross, symbolizing the correction of the Christian belief of his divinity and reinforcing the concept of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. Isa will live for a period of time after his return, during which he will marry, have children, and lead a normal life in accordance with the laws of Islam. He will be a direct follower of the teachings of Prophet Muhammad and will guide the people toward righteousness. He will be instrumental in uniting the Muslim community and reinforcing the message of Islam as the final and true religion. His return will not only signify the defeat of the Dajjal, but also the end of major trials and tribulations for the believers. Isa's presence will strengthen the faith of the Muslims, and he will work to ensure that people understand the truth about Allah and his final message. His return will fulfill the prophecies found in the Hadith and complete the circle of the mission of the prophets, showing that Isa was always a part of Allah's divine plan. Isa will eventually pass away after fulfilling his mission, and his death will be a sign of the end of the world. Following his death, the final events of the Day of Judgment will begin to unfold, and all humanity will be gathered for accountability before Allah. The second coming of Isa will thus serve as a crucial moment in the final stages of the world's history, leading to the ultimate triumph of truth and justice. In Islam, the second coming of Isa is a symbol of hope, justice, and the ultimate victory of truth over falsehood. It is a reminder that no matter how dark or corrupt the world becomes, Allah's plan is always in motion, and the righteous will ultimately triumph. Isa's return is not only a fulfillment of prophecy but a sign that Allah will restore justice and peace, leading the world toward the final and eternal success of the believers in the hereafter.